What's the word I'm looking for? What are those? Hello, sexy people. Can't believe that this is still visible. It's been a week. Mosquito bite, if anyone's forgotten. Today's the 31st. Made it with one spooky read. Tell Me I'm Worthless by Alison Rumfitt. Incredible. Everyone in the UK, please pick this up. If you haven't heard of it, please pick it up. The most important Brexit novel, I think. Forget that Ali Smith book. What was it? Her supposed Brexit COVID novel as well. Did nothing for me, sadly. I mean, I love Ali Smith. Love the way that her poetic mind flows. But like, to get to the nitty gritty details of Bad Britain, here we is. Tell Me I'm Worthless, Alison Rumfitt, a haunted house story, opens up strong and then grips you with the terrors of what it's like to be a trans body in acts of violence and what it means to be in the UK, Brexit and all. And I'm glossing over it because I think you should just go into this absolutely blind, but definitely not for the faint of heart. If you're into transgressive literature, this is it. Such a good horror fun. I went into it thinking it was like spooky, like really spooky read, but then it got like political in terms of trans identity and the UK and social and political issues as well. And yeah, it just like gripped me, and yeah, it took me aback and just like completely shocked and spellbinded by the way Rumfitt was able to just weave all of it together and not make it feel like too out there. They're a very crafty writer. They know what they're doing and they're doing it well. Absolutely wild from beginning to end. It's about this haunted house where Alice is living in a haunted existence, selling videos of herself cleaning for money, going to parties she hates, drinking herself to sleep. She hasn't spoken to Ela since they went into the house. She hasn't seen Hannah either. I definitely loved Alice as a character, so interesting in terms of like the people that she encounters as she's selling these videos and the hot, disgusting underbelly that is horny internet users. Yeah, it was wild. It was a wild ride. Please read it. Tell Me I'm Worthless. I think one of the strongest reads I've read this year, second to Dennis Cooper's The Sluts. Go into it blind if you're the transgressive type. Also, over the weekend, read Adam Phillips' Attention Seeking. Some of this flew over my head, but very interesting look at how we pay attention to things and the amount of unattention that is incredibly important to our attention. Did not know that Adam Phillips was a major Freud wanker. What am I trying to say? He does a lot for Freud, which is cool. I learned some very interesting things about how to reframe what I pay attention to, the amount of time I pay attention to it, and really illuminating the blind spots, or how many blind spots that I've had. Reading this while having a very big, sad, tragic social event occur has made me realize almost the obsessive ways in which I consume information and how it fills certain parts of me and creates this like agonizing experience of like what it means to be online with so much information. When I think about it, I am incredibly, one, disgusted with all of the videos that people posted online of people's faces unblurred. If anyone must know, Korea has like a very big defamation laws as well as like filming people in public. It's against the law to film someone without their consent. And for that to happen in Korea with such an event like this is really disgusting, but also the information is so valuable because there's also people during that time, during like waking up Sunday morning to body count and missing people. I think like 4,000 people were reported missing, and I still think they're trying to figure out who those people are and putting, you know, names to faces and such. Those videos are important as well, and like trying to figure out who is who. And yeah, in the moment, the internet as this like space where, on also so many different platforms, you know, I was on Reddit, Twitter, TikTok. I think TikTok was incredible in the way that so many people posted videos of what was going on, and sort of the insanity of how many people crowded this one singular street in order to get to places is wild. Let me read you some quote. It feels like a unorganized TED Talk, but for funsies, in that it's about attention, but it like diverts your attention to different things. So he circles around different ideas, and he's going around in these circles. And it almost feels like he's like doing this in jest and is trying to test your attention and what you're trying to pay attention to. You can definitely do a reread of this. There's a quote in here that I really thought about. The day makes claim on us, and we make claims on the day that we are unaware of. And that these claims that always go unnoticed have some kind of urgent priority, exclusiveness, and indeed, that our days are there for us to make dreams out of. To make a dream, in Freud's view, is to formulate unconscious desire, and that is the way we go on making a future, working out what we want and need. So yeah, Freud had this idea that like dreams exist out of how the day claims us and what we claim in the day, and what we are also unaware of. Like how much we are aware of the day, aware of our reality, feeds into the dreams, but also the unawareness, the unattention, things that exist in our blind spots, and those also feed into our dreams and how we create a future for ourselves, and also plays a part in our wants and needs. How much in our unattention and unawareness also says a lot about like what we need and want. And I've been thinking about that a lot because I was like, God damn, what are my blind spots? Like, what have I been ignoring? And I think this plays a lot also into this podcast that I recently been listening to. The podcast is Reset with Liz Tran. And she had this one podcast where she's talking about like, I keep a journal, right? I do. But the way that she begins her journal, or like she wakes up in the morning and she writes, what is she running away from? What is she avoiding? Oh, escaping escapism. It was this idea that like we go into escapism through like TV shows or drinking, and sometimes it gets too much and actually becomes stressful in itself. And that doesn't feed into like your overall health and mental health, right? So she had this practice, I think she said, with like a client or so, because she's also a coach, about like waking up in the morning and writing about like, what are you running away from? And that level of confrontation with the self so early in the morning is just so wild to me. Like when I wake up, the first thing I don't think about is how do I look in the mirror, or like I'm like literally facing myself. I don't think about that at all. But having heard Liz talk about it, I was like, that is really interesting though, to like wake up and be immediately you, like be immediately within your own skin and face whatever that you are avoiding, your fears, your anxieties so early in the morning. Like, is that how you really want to start the day? I was thinking about that. Yeah, otherwise, if I don't, it just becomes like this strange procrastination that ends up being at the end of the year and putting myself in a self-reflection that, I don't know, I should have tackled on sooner or something. Where was this going? I don't even know anymore. I'm on 3 hours of sleep. I'm sorry. But we'll say, what I'm reading now, and I'm like at the tail end of my fall reading list. We're soon into winter. December's right around the corner. It is November 1st tomorrow. We are reading The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I read this a while back. I want to say when I first moved to San Francisco, which I think was, it was one of the first 2 years. I think it was my sophomore year. Anyway, 2015, 2016, I think it was 2015. I loved it. It was so cool. It was dark academia before it was dark academia. Donna Tartt just puts out these like bangers that come every decade or whatever. Like her publication, she only has like 3-4 books, but like she takes time writing her books. Anyway, absolute banger, this book. I'm doing a reread. This will be my second reread of the year. Earlier, my first reread was Franny and Zoe by J.D. Salinger. And yeah, excited to hit fall vibes again with this. So yeah, this is gonna take me some time. Do you want to see something? I normally don't, ever, but for this, I feel like I will, also because I've read it before. And also I think this is just a copy that I'll keep. But we highlighted shit, and I got sticky notes. I'm gonna be that kind of bookstagrammer. Do booktubers do that? Like the in-depth, color-coded, radiant. What's the word I'm looking for? What are those? Post-its? They're not Post-its. You know what I'm talking about. But that, I'm gonna be that with this. So glad that the bookstore that I went to had this. Actually, they also had Annie or No, which like surprised me because Fitzcarraldo editions too, which they don't usually stock. Also, I feel like most of the books that come into Korea into like mega chain bookstores like Kyobo, which is, I want to say like the Barnes and Nobles of Korea. We also have Starbucks inside our bookstores. I feel like most of the books come from the UK, so we get an interesting mix of sometimes like US covers and UK covers. Love it. Because most of the times I do prefer the UK covers over American covers. I don't know why this is the first example, but like the US cover for Killing Commendator by Haruki Murakami, atrocious, disgusting. Whoever decided that was the cover, I don't know. If anyone remembers like the first edition covers for all the Murakami books, incredible. And then there was like a reprint where the covers were just like so lackluster in these like weird obtuse colors and shapes and such. I was just like, who the fuck approved of this? It was so stupid. Anyway, it had one of those covers, the US cover. And it was a shit show. And then, so I bought the hardback of it from the UK, which is gorgeous. Just like the details of like the inside flap and just the outside flap, and it was such a gorgeous book, but I sadly parted ways with that one. I left it at like some free tiny library or something. Sad to see it go. It was just way too heavy and I was moving. Anyway, we were reading The Secret History. Yeah, Donna Tartt. But I definitely want to pick up something else. Maybe a smaller book, because to balance this out. Yeah, I think I have like 3 or 4 books left on my fall reading list, which is surprising. Didn't expect to tackle through that stack, but I think we did pretty well. I don't know what my September wrap up looks like, or what month are we in? October, Jesus. I feel like I read so little in October actually. Should we check real quick? I'll do a quick wrap up. I read 6 books for October. I started off with an ARC of I Fear My Pain Interests You by Stephanie LaCava. It's pretty mid. Actually, I don't know. I think it was pretty bad, to be honest. There's a lot of hype for it, but the book started in the middle. Way too much exposition that wasn't even interesting for the first half, and then the book only gets interesting when she meets this like weird doctor that tries to see why she can't feel pain. It's about a girl who doesn't feel pain, and she gets this like huge gash on her thigh or whatever, and she's like bleeding profusely, but she can't feel pain. Love the premise and the idea, but poor execution. Next I read McGlue by Otessa Moshfegh. It's a banger. Her first novella. Really interesting to compare it to her other works if you are a Moshfegh stan. A lot more lyrical, atmospheric, and then followed up with more atmosphere with Sweet Days of Discipline by Fleur Jaeggy, the Catholic lesbian middle school version of Call Me By Your Name. Slaps. Totally slaps. Tiny book too. Definitely wreck. Then, oh, okay, that's why. I spent way too much time with The Sluts by Dennis Cooper, because, woof, I mean, meant to be read in one sitting, but like, I just couldn't, like, I didn't know how to comprehend that book. The best read of 2022 for me, hands down. Followed up with more subversive literature with Tell Me I'm Worthless, which we just talked about. And then, yeah, last book, Attention Seeking, which we just talked about as well. Yeah, which puts us at 80 out of 52 books for 2022. Set the goal at 52 books. We're at 80. Can we hit 100 by the end of December? Wish me luck. If anyone checks, my review of Attention Seeking is less about the book and more about what happened in Itaewon. I don't know. Just like thinking about 150 funerals occurring this week. And also just like, I don't know. That somebody that was gone was, you know, somebody's son, somebody's daughter, somebody's friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, everything. I don't know. Death is really strange, especially when it like happens en masse in cases like this where, I don't know, like you don't expect it to happen and then it happens. I think what bugs me the most, or like the reason why it cuts deep is like, I don't know, I have friends that go out to Itaewon like every weekend, and that could have been my friend. And yeah, if this isn't your sign to like check in with your loved ones and your friends or something and say, I appreciate you, I love you, and I'm glad we're in the present tense. On that note, to begin somber and end somber on a Blue Monday. Truly, truly a Blue Monday.
Actually watching it for me because shit really fucks me up now as an adult. Like as a kid, I would watch Saw.
Hey, sexy readers. This is the fit of the day, shall we? Koss crossbody bag. Coveted. Finally. I'm in my Britney Bathgate era, if anyone wants to know. The leather is so soft. I love it. I forgot the name of the brand, but it's Korean. But they do, like, A24 shirts. Come on. I know you saw that A24 video I did. Had to wear this. Blazer. My favorite big pants with the big pocket and got a little bag in here. Yeah, let's go. I think fall is over. It is so cold. I think it was super cold yesterday, and today the cold continues. Like way too cold. I think like too cold even for this fit. Like it's turtleneck season. And yeah, just gonna go out and do some reading. Cause I've been chugging along through The Secret History, but I'm only like 50 pages in, and we've got a long ways to go, and I'd like to make November a hearty book month. So yeah, I'm kind of in that mode where like the end of the year's nearing and I'm panicking and I want to make sure I'm eating as many books and movies as I can, feeding the soul before the year ends. It's crazy. Anyway, going to a cafe today to do some reading. Going to this place that was closed down for a bit and then it just reopened. Hopefully it's not busy, and hopefully it's open because it doesn't have hours, but it said it opened on Thursday. Like the grand opening was on Thursday. Anyway, doing that, let's go. Hi, hello. I will have updates. Made it to chapter 3 of The Secret History. But just wanted to let you know that during that whole time, I left my front door open. It didn't close all the way. And I mean, like, Korea is a safe country, and there's CCTV even in the hallways. And my neighbors are, like, pretty quiet and to themselves. But anyone could have stepped in. Yikes. Hi, hello. It's a gorgeous Saturday. I always forget, I have an intro and I should be doing my intro. I'm Nathan. I read books because reading is sexy. And if you're not reading, you're not sexy. Is that it? Okay, that's over with. The Secret History, Donna Tartt, a beloved classic. I've said this before, but the ultimate campus novel. I'm sorry, hands down. Ultimate campus novel. It's because it's so atmospheric. I'm at chapter 3 right now, and y'all bookstagrammers got me putting my tabs in. I'm really happy about this. A purple highlighter is for narrative. Gray is for our narrator. What's his name again? Anyway, and then all the this gradient tabs of all the characters. You like that? The gradient tabs only came with 5, so we had to make an extra one for Henry, which you can see here. All the moments where Henry is himself. Yeah, atmospheric. I'm remembering why I loved this so much, and just the way that Donna Tartt pulls you in with place, characters, the turbulence of this newness, this inviting world. You know something terrible is on the brink. Much like the Greek chorus, because we know that Bunny dies on the very first page. That's no spoiler. It's written there, black and white for you. And yeah, you're sort of navigating through these characters in this odd Greek class and trying to figure out how. I mean, what hasn't been said about this, right? The book reminds me a lot, the way that the characters are casted, is the movie 21. Does anyone remember that movie? Winner, Winner, Chicken Dinner? Just like the cast of characters and the mayhem that they go through and just their brilliance. I just love that atmosphere so much. Donna Tartt captures fall so well. I say this as if I've read her entire, bibliography. I have not. I've only read The Goldfinch, which is tremendous in itself too. And yeah, just like those first 50 pages really blow you away. And yeah, Donna Tartt exists in this time of, when was this put out? Let me double check. But I always group her, 1992? Is that for real? Oh my God. I thought this was like in the 2000s. I always group Donna Tartt with another writer of her time, I think. Brilliant also. Jeffrey Eugenides, Virgin Suicides, Marriage Plot, what is the other one? Middlesex. I'm sure he has another one as well, like a book of short stories. In that they both put out books with like large expanses of time, and they're like hits. They're like major hits. Donna Tartt the same way. I think she's got 3 books, right? I'm missing The Little Friend. Haven't read that yet. Someone told me it wasn't great, and I'll, every so often I'll look it up on Goodreads thinking, okay, I will read it. And then people are like, meh, this is not her greatest. But I'm still curious, But she knows how to write a book. She knows how to make it plotty. She knows how to captivate you with characters, and she writes really good place, like atmosphere. You can almost feel it like you're there. And it's bingeable. That's what's crazy about it. The writing's good. All of the sort of foreshadowing is there as well. Things are collected in these little stones, and you take little steps, little by little. And yeah, you get to these like incredible places of plot and eventually climax. She's wonderful. I am also reading Solenoid by Mircea Cărtărescu. God, I need to figure out how to say that. Translated by Sean Cotter from the Romanian. I've read Sean Cotter before as a translator. He did Femme by Magda Carnessi, I read a few months back. Yeah, incredible translation. Again, he's amazing. Not quite sure what the book is about, but we're sort of reminiscing through childhood memories of place and the body. Very much the body. The first 12 pages of the book is about lice and contracting lice and even like eating it, squeezing it between the teeth. It is so visceral. I got sick reading it, but it is so interesting. There is so much attention to the grotesque body, which I think Moshfegh explores a lot, but here it's like so microscopic. It's way too attentive, almost to the point where you can see like the pores and what oozes out of them. That's the experience of reading this book. Just started and just a few pages in, but very, very interesting. Those are my book updates. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.